All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. So in this video, we're going to be talking about the inspector window. This is the icon for the inspector window right here. The shortcut for the inspector window is the letter I on your keyboard. If you click on the letter I on your keyboard, do this with me. That's going to open this window right here. This is the inspector window. If you hit the letter I, it's going to close it. Okay, so let's leave it open. There are two sides to the inspector window. The left-hand side, or the left side, which is right here, and the right side, which is right here. Both sides do completely different things. Okay, so we're gonna go deep into this. So here we go. Let's get started. Let's talk about what you can find on the left-hand side of the inspector window. Okay, on the left-hand side, you can find the effects window, or the audio effects window. You can find the effects sends, which is right here. Your output window is also on the left-hand side of the inspector window. Your groups tab, your automation tab, the pan knob, and finally the volume fader. Now this volume fader right here will control the volume for whatever track you have selected. So I'm gonna create a couple tracks here, right? Now let's say that this track right here, the one that says audio 1, let's say I need to bring the volume down on that track. If I click on that, see how it's highlighted? And then I go down here to the inspector window and I move this fader up and down, it's going to affect the volume for that track. Let's say that I need to bring down the volume on channel 1, right? But I have channel 3 selected. When I go down to the inspector window and I move this volume, if you look right here at this, you're gonna notice when I move this fader, it's gonna move that fader as well. This controls the volume for the track, and so does this fader right here, okay? So for instance, if I was going to move the volume on number 1, I click on number 1, and then I can either turn the volume down here, or I can do it here on the inspector. Why is that set up like that? It's just for convenience. There's if you're already in here with the mouse, then you can just grab it here, or if you need to go quicker, you can grab it here. All right, so that's how that works. Basically, you have to have the track selected, and then you can affect that track by using the left-hand side of the inspector. Okay, now let's talk about the right-hand side of the inspector. The right-hand side of the inspector is the master volume for the entire session. It has the master fader for the entire session. So this fader right here, if we had a whole session going and I grab this fader, and it doesn't matter which track I'm selected on, okay? It doesn't matter at all. If I grab this fader and I bring it down, it's gonna bring down the volume for all of the tracks. Understand? All of them. If I take this pan knob and I move this pan knob to the left or to the right, it's going to affect all of the tracks. Okay? So let's talk about what lives on the right hand side of the inspector window. You got your settings. You have an audio effects window. Okay? You have your group tab, or your group window. You have an automation tab. You have a pan knob, and you have a volume fader. So very important that you remember this, guys. Okay, now the next thing I want to do is I want to go over to the quick help icon. You know where this is already. Let's click on that and see. Remember, up here, this quick help window opens up, and anything you hover your mouse over is going to give you information on that tab or that window. Okay, now if you hover your mouse over the left hand side of the inspector, we're going to hold command and then backslash, and then you're going to get this information right here. This information is very crucial to your learning, okay, to your understanding of logic. It will tell you everything you need to know about these windows. See that? All of that information is right there. If you are really trying to master this software, it would be smart to, when we're done with this tutorial, or even right now, if you want to pause the tutorial, do this and look through all this information, because it is extremely important. All right. The last thing that lives in the inspector window is the region inspector, which is right here. It's this. See that drop down? Let's click on that. The region defaults. It's all right here. Okay, we'll talk a little more about this. Some of this stuff is advanced, but I'm introducing you to it. So this is the region inspector. Okay, and then this here is the track inspector. And again, this is all stuff that may not make sense now, but I introduce you to it, and you know how this works. Little by little, we connect dots. All right. So, guys, make sure you have this information burned into your brain. You have it in your notes. If you need to rewind the video, great, do that. Do not skip this tutorial. Do not go past it until you really understand what you've just been taught. Thank you guys for your time and your effort. See you on the next video.